What's up, y'all? It's BritneyChanel. You already know. So I ran across a video on YouTube because y'all know a lot of people on my BritneyChanel channel. They talk to me about relationship stuff. Y'all ask me relationship questions and that sort of stuff. But it was interesting because, I was looking on YouTube, at videos, and I came across a video by this guy named Ace Metaphor, and the title was alarming to me because he appears to be like a quote unquote black guy, and it says, "I'm a man, not a provider." Well, he's basically in the video saying, "I'm not a provider, I'm a person." So it kind of alarmed me at first because I'm like, what is going on here? So I'm just gonna let y'all hear a little bit of what he's saying, and then I'm gonna give my reaction to what he's saying in this particular video. But I'm gonna play the audio because I'm not about that copyright life. So I'm gonna just play the audio and give y'all my thoughts on what he had to say. And here it goes.
I think a lot of people understand that as a kid, I got told that so much. You gotta man up. I got in trouble for feeling, for expressing my opinion. I don't know how, I wasn't taught how to love. I was taught how to work, how to provide. I want to be much more than that. I'm much more than a man that provides the need to be marginalized. I'm a person that wants to be loved. I don't have to be macho with you. I don't want a woman that makes me feel like I gotta be in second grade again, being taught not to cry and to feel and to express and to be loved. I want to be hugged. Wasn't hugged enough. I want to be valued for not what I can bring to the table, but for being a beautiful soul like you. I want to be cared for. And I'm not afraid to say it, ladies, your man needs you for much more than just letting him provide for you. He needs you up here. He gonna fight you every step of the way because from birth he's been taught that this is the person he's supposed to be. Never let her pick up a check. Never let her plan something. You are the romance. He needs you to tell him, it is okay, babe, I got you. Let me show you that I can be what you need from a mental standpoint, an emotional, a romantic. Let me show you you are appreciated. Quit fighting that. Because we've been fighting it all our lives. If you can't be there for me, past my ability to provide from you, then I don't want it.
Okay, I've heard enough. I'm sure the video is much longer, okay? Let me just give my thoughts. I'm going to see if there's a little bit more cuz I'm trying to be like as empathetic as possible, okay?
It's going to pour into me as much as I'm going to pour into her. Somebody that refuses to allow me to refuse her gestures of gratitude, her dates, her paying for it, her gifts. Because I need that secretly. I don't know about a lot of men that's watching right now, but I want to be loved. I want to be appreciated, and I want to be valued too. And I know it ain't the man thing to say, but that manhood, that identity of manhood was beat into me. That ain't what I chose. And I guarantee there's a lot of people around the world that didn't chose this idea of being a man. Love me as a person.
Okay, so yeah. That was it, y'all, for that's as far as I'm going to listen to it. Let me just unload and take in what I heard and what we all heard. I think we're dealing with a hurt individual, y'all. And I'm not a therapist or anything like that. I'm in school, for psychology. But I really see a hurt individual, or I can get that this person was a hurt individual. It just seems like also this person has issues maybe with self. For starters, his whole, I don't know if this, it's not, I'm taking it serious because his whole video was about being seen as a person, valued, loved. And I'm sure that there are women out there who are very loving and caring and nurturing individuals that exist, okay? The type of woman that he is describing with this whole I am not a provider thing is a woman who is probably a gold digger, a woman that is probably one of those Insta thoughts, you know, who only looks at men like a come up. There are those women, and we live in the age of Insta models and that sort of thing, to where they're not looking for love, they're looking for money. And so if you've encountered that type of woman, because this is what I like about free will and choice. We have that choice on who we want to date, who we decide to be with. If you're thinking with your other brain and you're not thinking with your mind, then you're going to encounter that type of woman, because I feel like, you know, through life, sometimes God sends us the type of person that we need, but we reject it because it's not what our the fantasies that have been beaten into us tell us that that person is. You know, men are very visual at times. There's times, you know, where myself, you know, guys will try to talk to me, and then I look at the Instagram models who they like up and down their page, and you're like, okay, well, that's the type of woman you like. I'm not that. I'm not artificial like that. No, you know, no shade to those women, but I'm like, if I'm a real down to earth or real type of woman, I'm not Insta model by no means. So this is the type of woman that you like on your social media, but then you complain about women who are gold diggers or who only want you to provide, you know, or who are using you like you're a trick. Like, you can't have it both ways, men. You cannot have it both ways. So when I heard that, I'm like, I'm sure there's not a shortage of women who want to love somebody or who want to be loved back. I'm sure of it. And when it comes to, this person is black, so when it comes to, you know, the black man being a provider in his community, we know, or I'm going to talk about specifically in the African American community, okay? I'm not talking about any other place. I'm specifically talking about the reputation of the black man in the African American community. And please note, I don't like identifying as black, African American, or any of those names that have been came up with by eugenics and racist, bigoted scientists and all that other stuff. So even though I'm using it to describe, because that's what everybody I normally identifies as, who is a person that is melanated, okay? But I like to be called original. I'm of original people, and that's what I like to identify as. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to simplify it as that, because that's what everybody identifies it as, and it takes too much time explaining why. But anyway, this in the African American community, the black man for a long time, you know, with the whole slavery thing, was taken out of the home, the whole welfare system, child support, whatever, taken out of the home, and that role of provider was taken out for so long. You know what I mean? So if you have a generation of young men who were not growing up with fathers, because the fathers were either they were choosing to live a lifestyle to where, boom, they went to jail, or they were choosing to live a lifestyle to where they were not in the home. That is the choices that fall on the black man. You know what I mean? Those are the choices. So you make a video saying, I'm not a provider, when certain black men in the community have not been providers. So can you blame women, not even just black women, for wanting a man to be a provider? And when you say a provider, provider does not just fall under monetary type of things. And it's like, if you are a man that is concerned about gold diggers, Stop going for gold diggers, or the women that are only with you for the car that you drive, or the women that are only with you because of the type of job you work on. You know what I mean? You're picking those type of people. I'm sure you're not picking the girl who, you know, is the good girl type of girl. You're probably not picking those type of women. Let's just be for real. So back to this provider issue. A provider is not somebody that is just monetarily providing things. A provider could be, hey, spend time with your kids. You know, if you knock a woman up or get a woman pregnant, be that man or that family man that is strong enough to hold your family unit together, to lead and make decisions so that that benefit the welfare of your family. Leave a legacy. Teach your children in the way that they should go. Raise them up. You know what I mean? If you have a wife is a support system, okay, to you. So you complaining about you need to be loved, wives are meant to be the support system. But wives are not your mother, though. They're not your mother. So if you are a person that say you were not hugged enough, you were not loved enough, and all of that, maybe you should get counseling first to love yourself, so then you can go forth and love a person. Because being a provider is not just monetary. And I think of it like, you know, even with my relationship with God, like, you know, a man is supposed to love his wife like Christ loves the church. You know, God is all encompassing. It's like he's a provider, monetary, because he makes sure that you're taken care of. He emotionally pours into you. He is a leader, so he shows you the way that you should go. And it seems like because society is so messed up, you have these men that are beta men running around. They don't know what their identity is supposed to be. They have a problem with their role because they have been messed over by society and these dark agendas. Because you should not have any problem living up to that role. Women are not meant to be put in the role of provider. I don't care what this man is saying. I don't care, you know, what he's, you know, what. No, sir. No, sir. Well, I'm like, am I recording? But I'm like, women are not meant to be put into the role of provider. And he's like, you know, I can understand where he's like, okay, if I'm doing all of what I'm doing, I expect to be appreciated. And I'm sure that there's women who do appreciate the men that they have, but you have to be with the correct type of woman. You can't expect a gold digger to value you as a person when they see you as a dollar sign. But the problem that I had with this video is he said ladies, he didn't specify gold diggers, because every woman is not looking for a man who has millions of dollars, okay? Like, when I get married, I want a man who is, you know, loyal to his family. A man that, you know, puts God first, and then, you know, he's taking care of, you know, his self, health-wise and everything else, and his family. Somebody that is taking the time to pour into their children values and morals and that sort of thing. And just keeping his commitments and his covenant to God and that sort of thing. So this person in this video, I was having like a hard time understanding what philosophy he was, or where he was coming from, because it was like, sir, you're not talking about all women. All women are not looking at men like providership is just monetary. So you would have to be talking to the women who are gold diggers. And, you know, he was like, I want to be taken out on dates. I was like, it was cringeworthy through the audio, y'all. He was like, I want to be taken out on dates or whatever. I will kid you. I kid y'all not. Like, I know a lot of black guys, and this is part of the reason why I expanded my dating pool, because you hear this type of stuff. And it's not that black guys are not amazing, y'all. because there are black guys that are amazing. It's just they talk about the traumas of their childhood, and sometimes because they have been through what they've been through, or they didn't have a father in the home, or they did not have a positive family or nuclear structure, you're dealing with a broken individual. And I'm sure some black men can attest to this too with black women. Sometimes it's hard to date each other, and I think this is the problem on why we don't have more black love, when the person is so broken. This person has been emotionally, you could tell, like the way he's yelling out, I want to be loved. He is a broken individual who has been through some things. To say that, because through your life, you should experience real love at least once or another. Like, you know, it starts with your parents first. Your parents are your first teachers, okay? Like, it's supposed to be God, then your parents. They're your first teachers, because God is supposed to teach them, and then they're supposed to teach you. So apparently he did not have that. You know, maybe he came from a single mother or a single parent household, and his mother worked. But if you did come from a single parent household, then you did not see a man providing, and this is why you're yelling out, I am a man, not a provider. But you can't be a man without being a provider. That's the role, the divine role that was imparted to you from that gender. So it seems like a lot of men more and more want to escape their responsibilities, and they just want to live any kind of way, and they want to escape responsibilities. That's why there's so many children being born out of wedlock, because they want to play around, and then when it comes time for responsibility, they don't want to take it. Or even the women that, you know, that choose to do them. They want to play around, and then when stuff hits the fan and it gets real, nobody wants to be held accountable or take responsibility. And it's just like, you can't have real man, without having the title of provider. Provider is not just monetary, and you know, it's more than that. So if you're looking at yourself like you're only a dollar sign, you're going to attract those type of women that only want you for monetary. Because provider is not just what you can bring to the table, if that makes any sense. That's a gold digger. All women, if men stop thinking with and start thinking with their brain, they would get the type of woman that they need to be with. Because oftentimes God will send the type of woman that you need, or the man that you need, but you being vain will reject that. You know, there's lots of women who would love to cook and clean for their man, or to adore their man. A lot of women want a man, period, that wants to be a family man. But it clearly, in this video, to me, it seems like this person came from a single parent household. They never had like a real, probably, man in their life to show them what an actual provider is. And they're having a hard time, identity-wise, knowing what they should be doing, and probably has encountered some gold diggers because they're vainly reaching out for those type of women that only care about the type of car a man drives, or, you know, how much money a man makes. If you reach for those women, you're going to get those type of results. It's Brittany Chanel. I hope y'all enjoyed my thoughts on this audio. I hope I wasn't too long. Yeah, and bye. Mwah.